Here we go now.
Oh, I was sneezing right before this, guys. Allergies are kicking up. I don't know about you guys. It was very windy yesterday here in New York City, so maybe that's throwing around pollen because things were growing at one particular point. Now it's actually so cold here in New York City. It was definitely a shock to my system. As you know, I was in Los Angeles for the Kempire After Dark live experience, so it was very nice weather there. So I came back to New York. It was rainy, it was cold, it was windy. I said, what the hell? What the hell? I did get some sleep. I know we were live last night. If you missed it, we were live last night, giving you a Diddy update along with covering a lot of other hot topics. So if you want just one show to watch or listen to, I just uploaded the podcast version on our podcast, so make sure you check that out. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok. We appreciate you guys, and those of you watching on Twitch and Twitter, Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County. It is over for Orange County. And when I say over, I mean for this season. But it seems as if they were setting us up for season 19 already, because I did not expect, I don't know if they included this during the live version, because I watched the Peacock version. This is why you're noticing a drop in ratings, even for the shows like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that have very high ratings for like 1 million of live viewers. We have to remember, a lot of people have switched over to just watching on Peacock because you get the version with the curse words. You get extended cuts like this Real Housewives of Orange County reunion. This was the extended, uncensored version that I watched. I just have to say thank you to the producers and the network and the women of Real Housewives of Orange County, because I've been watching a lot of reality television, as you know, okay? But this was a really good season. It wasn't too crazy. Yes, I know we were dealing with a DUI and a lawsuit, but it was just done so well. And even though there were people that you may have not liked during the season, it was just a good season that came together, okay? But before we get to that, can we talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show? Because I just watched that too. No, that's not the reason that I was late. I was done watching it before 11:30, okay? I'm just always, it was done right at 11:30. But I was making sure everything was working, okay? Because, I haven't been in the studio for the last few days. Anyways, I say all that to say. Look, I say all that to say. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I did do the recap talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for those that may have missed it, but I didn't talk about the after show because I did get a chance to watch the after show. And I'm going to twerk on a fence because I like what Dorit is bringing, and I agree with Dorit when it comes to Kyle. However, I love the trifecta that we're getting with Jennifer Tilly, Sutton Strack, and Garcelle Bouvet. They, on the after show, are perfection. The shade that they throw, the comedy that they throw, the truth that they tell. So for those of you that say that Sutton and Garcelle don't have a storyline, why are they on this show? You're racist. Oh, no. Some of the people that do say it's, honestly, they are. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying there's some people that are saying it just because. But anyways. But no, I feel like Garcelle's the truth teller. She's the one that's going to hold you accountable. And I've always said to you guys, You don't have to have a storyline to be an interesting person. You don't have to have a storyline to be an interesting person. And Garcelle is exactly that. She's interesting. And I like this relationship between Garcelle, Sutton, and Jennifer Tilly. Because you know why? They're probably the realest on this damn show. Okay? And they say what we are thinking. And that's exactly what they're doing during the after show. L. Singleton says Potomac deserves an after show. We talked a little bit about that, I think, yesterday during our recap of Roni and Salt Lake City. I don't know why they don't get one. I don't know if it's because of the budget. I don't know. It would behoove them. I think it would do very well for them. I think the women of Potomac deliver on things like that, but all right. All right. Latasha says, I love that trio. Yeah. I enjoy them as well. Anyways, so there were a couple of things that they talked about. First of all, none of the women reached out to Dorit. None of them reached out to Dorit after her separation announcement. Look, I don't expect that Garcelle would reach out to Dorit, okay? I don't expect that Sutton would reach out to Dorit. They're not in that place, okay? But Kyle saying, I wrote, 2 text messages. I was going to, I sent one to PK, but I wasn't sure because I felt like Dorit was going to share the text message. She's still harping on Dorit sharing that text message with Erica on camera. Why? Look, I appreciate Dorit. Y'all do so much when it comes to sharing text messages lately. Like, are you guys this sensitive? There's so much more that's said on this show that is a lot more alarming and disturbing than sharing a text message. What, Kyle, you didn't love being thrown out there as the fake woman that you are, trying to control a narrative? I agree with Dorit. I'm glad she shared the text message. And even Erica was like, yeah, that was, it feels, I forgot what she said. But basically, it was manipulative. Kyle wants to spin it and say, I just didn't want to address this, this way. Are you already going to be dealing with this and that during the reunion? No. I'm glad that Dorit shared the text message. But it feels like Kyle in the after show and during the season is trying to find whatever reason she can to justify why she's mad at Dorit Kemsley. And this is where I'm going to defend Dorit all season. Because Kyle, you are fake, phony, and a fraud. You're fake, phony, and a fraud. And you've been that way for quite some time. And you're not a good sister. Goodbye, Kyle. Oh my gosh. You're fake, phony, and a fraud. But I can say the same about Dorit. Just add long-winded to that. Fake, phony, fraud, long-winded. Oh, okay. So in the after show for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I said I wanted to talk about it here because by the time we get to Beverly Hills next week, I'm going to forget. Okay? Elsie says all the F words. Yes, we're spelling phony with an F. Okay? We're spelling phony with an F, and not an X. Anyways, I will say this, Bozoma. I enjoyed you on the season, and I get that on the first episode. I get that you are building a friendship with Dorit, and maybe you're a ride or die friend. But I implore you to play middle. Play middle. Because some of the things that Bozoma was saying during the after show, I was like, Bozoma, you weren't here for this, and you're only going by what one person is telling you, and that person is long-winded Dorit. For those that saw the after show, because look, we didn't get much of Bozoma in the first episode, but the after show made me go, okay, Bozoma. And look, Bozoma, have your own opinion. But it felt like she was riding off of Dorit's opinion because Dorit was like, no one called me, and blah, blah, blah. Why didn't people call you? Because that should be quite telling of how the entire cast did not reach out to you after you announced your separation. That to me says more about you than it does about them. The entire cast did not reach out to you after you made that separation announcement. And I get it. Bozoma's in a tricky position because she's filming all of these hours. CM says Boz might be another 8.5. No, she's not another 8.5. No one could be 8.5, okay? However, after watching the after show, I was like, look, eight and a half. She's not. I'm not going to say that. Elsa Gooden, who's also from Connecticut, or lives in Connecticut. I'm sorry, I shouldn't tell you that. Elsa Gooden says, ironically, Dorit and Bozoma both grew up in Connecticut. Do we know Bozoma's birth sign? Can we look that up? Can you guys let me know? Yes, we talk about astrological science here because it gives me a better perspective, okay? Mademoiselle says, Dorit is a Karen and always will be. And that's why I said this friendship, this alignment with Bozoma, I'm watching it. I'm not saying that it's strategic, but look at my face. And if you're listening to the podcast version, go to YouTube. All right? Okay. Ooh, yes. Come on. Elsa says Boz is a 10, period. No, yes, she is. But the commentary from the after show kind of made me go, I took pause. She was born January 21st. Does that make her a Capricorn? Is she a Capricorn? Or she's like on the cusp, right? Of Capricorn? Can you guys confirm for me? Anyways. So the after show was interesting. I'm going to ride with Dorit on this Kyle stuff. I think Kyle is reaching for it to have some sort of issue with Dorit this season. But Dorit, you trying to play victim in regards to no one reaching out to you? Okay. Oh, NASA says Boz knows she's black. What are you trying to say about 8.5? What are you trying to say about 8.5? I saw 8.5 entered the chat the other day. So she entered the chat the other day. We don't care, 8.5. Okay? We don't care. All right, guys, don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show. But I'm going to move on because I want to talk about the Real Housewives of Orange County. What a fantastic season. They really, really did bring it this season. They really, really brought it this season. Come on. So they start off this final part of the episode, and 3-part reunions nowadays are usually unnecessary. For the most part, they're unnecessary. But they did this season so well, they deserved 3 parts. Real Housewives of Orange County. Okay? Elsie says Boz is an Aquarius. Okay. That makes sense. Based off of her life and what she's done with her life, okay? Jazz says that Boz is a boss, marketing genius. She knows what she's doing. Well, I'm going to watch. Look, I'm going to watch. Look, Jazz says, listen, I work in tech. Boz is a legend. We believe you. We believe you. All right, I'm going to continue to call her Bozoma just because I feel like a lot of people are going to mess up her name. So I'm going to just say her full name, her full government. Bozoma St. John. Okay. Kimberly says, who is Garcelle's stylist? I know, like, show yourself. Like, I don't think we ever got to the bottom of, unless maybe she uses more than one. But Garcelle, we know you're making cash now. Go get Fantasia's stylist. He's now styling Candy from Real Housewives of Atlanta too. Come on. I need Garcelle to live up to the greatness that she is. Okay? Look, but then again, you can't have everything in life. Look, she's beautiful, she's smart, she's funny, she's interesting, she's booked and busy. Like, you can't have everything. All right? So, if anything, the bad style humbles her. The bad style humbles her, and I appreciate it. All right? I appreciate it. All right. Let me open my notes in regards to Real Housewives of Orange County, final part of the reunion. So we end the episode, part 2, with so your TV star. And first I was like, Alexis has been on TV for 15 years, even after she left Orange County? And I was like, where? And then they remind us that Alexis was on Below Deck. And I'm a huge fan of Below Deck, especially the Kate Chastain years. OMG. Speaking of Chastain, what's her name? The act Jessica Chastain, right? OMG, she's in this movie called Memory. I watched it on the airplane going to California. So good. It came out last year. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Oh, it's so good. She's a phenomenal actress, but this was an interesting story. I'm not going to tell you what the story is, but go watch it. It's called Memory. You're welcome. Exactly. Deborah says Garcelle's making money now. She can afford a good stylist. And honestly, you don't have to make a lot of money to get a good stylist. Just saying. I got a good stylist. I don't use the stylist all the time, though, y'all. Like when I'm in here and I put on, no. Like if I have an event, sometimes I'll use a stylist, all right? And I got a good one. and she's affordable. Look, she's affordable, at least for me. She's in my pay grade. Just saying. Hey, Miss M. Miss M is watching from Germany. Will you be coming to our London show, Miss M? We got a few people that watch in Germany. Hey, Rita. We have a few people that watch from Germany. From Germany. All right. So Shannon ends last week's episode and starts off this week's episode with, you're a TV star. You're a TV star. Okay? So Shannon talked about John. Apparently, she talked about his teeth and his bad knees. Look, when you reach a certain age, just say it. Look, just say it. So Shannon doubles down on how she paid for everything in their relationship. I know I've asked this question before. Do you believe that Shannon really did pay for everything in her relationship with John? Here's the thing. I just don't see a woman just saying that willy-nilly if it wasn't true. And I know there are women that lie. Hey, Tamra. I know that there are women that lie. However, I just don't believe that Shannon just pulled that from thin air, that she covered everything in their relationship. I do believe that the scales were not even in that relationship. Did she pay for every single thing, the entire relationship? She even says early in their relationship, she paid for everything. And apparently, whatever business he was a partner in, he got $5 million out from it. $5 million. But the other partners got $55 million. Just saying. Thank you, Deborah. Deborah says, Kempire, you look so cute in LA. Style was 10 out of 10. Mind you, I didn't have a stylist for that one. Yay! That was all me. Okay? That was all me. All right? Anyways, so Shannon, she doubles down that she paid for everything in their relationship. Alexis then asks Emily, because Emily was chiming in, look, and I think some of the audience would agree with Alexis that, Emily, you're doing too much. Why are you chiming in? And she told her to butt out of it. Alexis says that they got a forensic accountant, her and John. I'm trying to look, I don't know. I don't know any, I've never had to hire a forensic accountant. However, usually you would get something like that when you were getting a divorce. I've never really heard someone use one when you're not in a marriage. And I don't know if a forensic accountant is worth it in this type of situation, because did you guys have accounts intermingled? Like, what is a forensic accountant finding? And I'm not saying that they couldn't find things in their relationship in regards to it. So they got a forensic accountant to get this $70,000 that he was owed, $75,000 that he was owed. Good news. I did see that Shannon posted on her social media that they did settle. We found out that information this week that John and Shannon did settle, and she paid him his money. And I believe they did sign an NDA. They talk about that during the reunion as well. But apparently, Alexis says that they hired a forensic accountant, and apparently John Jansen spent $350K on Shannon. See, this is where you lose me, Alexis and John, because here's the thing. Elsie says a forensic accountant does a thorough inspection, but that's the thing. Like, what are you inspecting? How do you inspect like a Shannon Bedore's account when they're not married? You know what I mean? You can look what he's paid her and things like that, but I don't know. But that's what I just don't think it's worth it when you're not married to get a forensic accountant. But she says that they did, okay? Anyway, so John alleges that he paid $350,000 in his relationship to Shannon Bedore. And that's where you lost me, because I believe you're lying. Because if you really spent that amount of money on Shannon Bedore, you would have asked for a lot more. But he says, oh no, he only asked for what they agreed was a loan. He spent $350,000 on Shannon Bedore in their relationship. I don't believe that. I believe you're a liar. Now I'm really Team Shannon on this situation. Even though everyone on that cast seems to be Team Shannon, including Tamara, because Tamara, during this whole conversation, was just like denouncing basically what Alexis was saying. Just like, yeah, that's not true. No. Like, and then looking at Tamara was very quiet for the most of this reunion, part 1 and part 2 and part 3. Towards the end, she speaks up a little bit more. But for the most part, Tamara was very quiet. And I think she was quiet intentionally to save herself because she had such a bad season. Like, this was probably like the worst season for Tamara because she really tried to shape shift and find an excuse for her bad behavior. Like, I don't know what you guys were saying to her on social media, but I think she really saw back and felt the backlash of how she was depicted. Okay. Julie says 350K in 4 years is nothing in Orange County, and he's lying. I don't think John Jansen has $350,000. Now he probably does because he got bought out from this business, but okay, fine. So here's the thing. So John Jansen apparently was single for a year before he met Alexis. And Shannon's like, that's not true. He texted me, I forgot what she said. There was definitely maybe a couple of them. It was like September or something like that. Okay? Someone says, no, Kempire. Remember, she's autistic. Tamara. No, she's not. And that's an insult in regards to the people that actually are diagnosed with autism. She just has bad behavior. Yes. Nikki says that she was getting dragged on social media, but she always gets dragged on social media. So for me, it was sort of like, it must have been really bad this season for her in regards to the dragation. Anyways, so, hold on, wait, John bought, I forgot what I wrote here. I don't know what I meant to say here. Anyways, so apparently John was single for a year before he met Alexis. But according to Shannon, he texted her, I love you, back in September of 2023. But according to Alexis, Shannon and John broke up in like Thanksgiving of 2022. And she's like, that's a lie. And we all know that was a lie because John Jansen was over at Shannon's house after her DUI. And we all were like, are they together? And look, and according to Alexis, they were friends with benefits. They were still together. Maybe not officially. Look, at the end of the day, saying that unless you're married, it's hard to have a definitive end to a relationship. So I believe that they were in a relationship. Was there an overlap? Was Alexis the other woman? No. But clearly, John decided to start dating you 2 months after he decided he was completely done with Shannon. But John, he's a liar. So I don't believe that John has told Alexis the complete truth. And Alexis seems to put these men on a pedestal, and they pointed that out as well. And they flashed back to when she used to refer to Jim Bellino as her king. And she's like, I've never said that. And they play the clip. I'm like, all right. Nashville says they were together for 5 years. They were together like 4 to 5 years, Shannon and John. All right. So Alexis then refers to Emily and one I forgot who else she was talking about. She was calling dumb, and that's when Emily loses it. Emily's like, "You're the dumbest." I'm gonna take out the cursor. She's like, "You're the dumbest person I've ever met." Oh, like Emily was triggered by being called dumb. Look, no one's ever called me dumb, but I think if someone did call me dumb, I might get triggered too. So I felt that in my chest when she was just like, "You're the dumbest, you know what, that I've ever met." And honestly, Alexis, you do give my man, and not the smartest person. And I know you said you went to college. Even Gina was like, I know some dumb people that have gone to college. Me too. But Shannon also points out that they were still together 10 days after her DUI. Literally, we saw him going to her home 10 days after, after her DUI. There was still something happening between John Jansen and Shannon, even after her DUI. All right. And that's when they talk about how Alexis, someone asked the question from the fans in regards to why does she make a man her identity, every time? Like she did it with Jim Bellino. Now she's doing it with John Jansen. Look, I don't think Alexis could have won in any shape or form by coming in the season with John Jansen as her man. I don't know what it would have been like if she had come into the season without this relationship. Maybe we would have just thought she was kooky. I don't know if I think they still would have talked about the Jim Bellino lawsuit. So that to me would make sense in regards to maybe issues between Shannon and I wonder if there were still been issues between Shannon and Tamra, but here we are. All right, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We're talking about the final part of the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion. Thank you so much, Julie, for another super chat. Julie says, I went hard on Tamra on Instagram after every episode and tagged her on all the podcasts that I talked about her. Damn. I was that person. Love Juicy Scoop. Julie. I love the fact that you admitted it, though. So Judy trolled Tamra all season. Look, I will say this as a disclaimer. We do not encourage this type of behavior on social media. All right. Moving along. So this is when we find out that John Jansen only got about $5 million from this business that was sold, and the other partners got $55 million. Alexis like, that's not true. He was a top partner. Blah blah blah. Shannon's like, do you guys even talk about this stuff? How long you guys have been together? Do you talk about these intimate details? I know I did with John. I believe Shannon. I believe John probably told Alexis one thing and told Shannon the truth in regards to what he got out. He probably wanted to seem like a rich guy. And because if you're a rich guy, would you really be suing if you really got $55 million? Even if you are a troll, if you have $55 million, would you go to this extent for $70,000 or $75,000? If you just got $55 million, would you go to this extent? Because at the end of the day, even if it was a loan, and Emily says you don't send a promissory note after the fact. But if you just got $55 million, would you really be suing an ex-girlfriend for $75,000? $100,000 would you be suing her? $350,000 would you be suing? I would, but not if I had $50 million in the bank. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. But we saw what he was doing. They did play a couple of the confessionals where John Jansen talks about the accident and what went down and what the loans and things like that. So he does talk about the accusations of extortion and says that Shannon hasn't taken accountability for the people that she's hurt. He says that if Shannon wants to see a monster, then he would show her the video of her from that night. Look, she was definitely drunk. She doesn't deny that she may have said or did horrible things. Okay? John says that apparently John called her a drunken idiot, and that's when she got into her car. And she said she got into her car because she didn't want to have to go back the next day to get it. So I guess she had Archie with her when she went to John's house. Was she drunk when she drove to John's house already? Or did she get drunk at John's house? I mean, at this particular point, it's unimportant, but just saying. Anyways, so apparently he called her a drunken idiot. Apparently his kids were there at the time when all this arguing was happening as well. We already know, apparently on that video footage where Shannon was leaving, she almost ran over his daughter. Okay. Alexis says that, Alexis says that her talking about the videos was just her, because, a lot of us felt like her bringing up the videos, basically saying, we have these videos of Shannon from that night, felt like extortion. So she's like, her talking to her friends, it was just her talking with her friends. She wasn't bringing it up as extortion. I think this is just the lawyers letting her know, we need to downplay that. Ooh, good point. Dee says John is a Scorpio and is definitely on his get back. Oh, I can see that. So maybe he would do that. Hey, Dina. Dina said you did so good on Juicy Scoop. Love you, Kay. Thank you so much, Dina. I appreciate that. Guys, if you missed it, I did drop by Heather McDonald's podcast, Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald. This week, we talked a lot about Diddy. And I was not ready because I don't pay attention to Emily's voice. But Heather McDonald does a really good impression of Emily's voice. And I was like, oh, shoot, that's really good. It's really, really good. Anyways, CM says, if you almost hurt my child. Oh, hold on. Moved up. If you almost hurt my child, I wouldn't be around you. I guess you mean just saying. Thank you so much for the super sticker, Lydia. We appreciate the support, guys. You know, you can also support just by liking the video. It's easy and it's free. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark live experience is coming to London, December 8th, and then we're coming back to DC on January 24th. Our New York City date has not been announced just yet. Be sure to stay tuned for that. But if you are in London or near London or will be in London or want to be in London, get your tickets for that. That's December 8th. Or if you want to come to our DC show, get tickets for that. Those tickets are going very, very fast. There's already a low ticket alert on the meet and greets and the premium seating. So go check that out if you haven't already. All right. I forgot that I wanted to mention our sponsor for today because, you know, the holidays are officially here, guys, and you need something, all right? You need something. You need a gift idea, and I think I'm sure, and I'm going to speak for your friends and family, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your hookups, your side pieces, if you're getting gifts for those folks. I speak for them that we're tired of the same. Look, we're tired of the same old gifts. We're tired of the gift certificates. We're tired of the same thing that you got me last year or 3 years ago. Uncommon Goods has you covered, all right? Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and it's exactly what I wanted feeling. They scour the globe for original, handmade, and absolutely remarkable things. Somehow, they know exactly the perfect gift for every single person you know, right? I'm sure you want a discount, don't you? To get 15% off your next gift or gifts, go to uncommongoods.com/Kempire. That's uncommongoods.com/Kempire for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. More information on Uncommon Goods will be available in the description. Yes. Thank you, Fox, for reminding me. Grace Report's going to be joining me in London for our live show. So make sure you come out, reporters. All right? All right. Let's go. Let me take a sip. Oh, sour. That's how I start my day. With a little lemon, chia seeds, and warm water. Look. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. Elsie says, thank you for being a member, Elsie. Kempire, I saw you on JS and the Boys. You were so demure. JS? Oh, Juicy Scoop? Oh, and the Boys? Oh, Watch What Crappens. I'm like, I had to piece together what you meant. I was like, and the Boys. I was so demure. Look, I don't act up when I'm on other people's platforms. I only act up on my platform, okay? Just say. All right. Moving on. So Emily keeps chiming in. Emily keeps talking under her breath to Tamra about Alexis. I didn't realize that Emily brought Alexis on the show. Did I miss that? Did they just mean that she did a scene with her to bring her on the show? Right? That was it. I don't take that she, well, Emily says she regrets it. Emily says that she regrets even doing that. Anyways, I think we already know what that is. You shooting a scene with someone to introduce them on the show doesn't mean that you actually recommended them for the show. All right. Back to this. Oh, all right. I skipped down way too much. So Andy asked for more information on the loan from Emily, and she's like, "You don't send a promissory note after the fact." All right. And then they talk about why John wouldn't sign the NDA because Shannon was more than willing to pay the full amount. Alexis says that's not true. Then she tries to explain why John wouldn't want to sign the non-disclosure agreement. It's a mutual non-disclosure agreement, but according to Alexis, John did not want to have this season where she could dog him out and he couldn't say anything. Here's the thing. John Jansen is a troll. John Jansen is a leech. He's the worst of them all. Because I wouldn't be surprised he got with Alexis because he knew she was a former housewife. I wouldn't be surprised that these two don't make it down the aisle. I don't believe anything that's coming out from them. And Alexis, you get exactly what you deserve. And I'm not surprised that you're with a John Jansen, because based on what I've seen of Jim Bellino, they're very much consistently weird and thirsty. So I'm not surprised that you're with another guy that's very similar to your ex-husband. Not at all. And that's litigious. I'm not surprised. Exactly. Nasser says he wanted to talk mess. Yeah. He wanted to be able to get his get back. So he prolonged this whole situation in order to so he could say what he wanted to say. He didn't want the money. He just wanted to be petty. And that's clear. That's clear. That's exactly what he was doing. So Heather then throws Jennifer and Katie under the bus. If anything, she gave them a moment because they really were fairly quiet during part 3 of the reunion. But apparently Katie and Jen hang out with Alexis all the time and have like double dates and things like that. So Heather's just like, can you guys say anything because you're friendly with her, in her defense? And Jen says, I can see both sides of the situation. And Shannon didn't like that. Emily didn't like that either. And Emily points out that she's like, your assistance and able to be friends with Alexis is mean girl behavior. And I was like, someone's like, no, I feel like Jen knows that she's on the show and this woman's on the show and they get along. They don't personally have an issue. And she says she has said things to Alexis. It's like, if you want to, Katie said to her, like, if you really want to change the narrative of how you're getting slammed on social media, drop the lawsuit. Katie said that. So I get where Jen and Katie are coming from. They're all on the show. All of them are friendly with Alexis. Heather's friendly with Alexis. Emily, you're friendly with Tamara. And Tamara, honestly, if I had to compare, Tamara's worse. She's worse than Alexis because this is supposedly a friend that continues to call her other friend a drunk and throw her under the bus, accusing her of drinking during a time when she could get in trouble for drinking. Like, she said some things that could really have detrimental effects on Shannon. So did I believe this whole little sweet moment at the end? No. They know what they're doing. Both Shannon and Tamara know what they're doing. They know that they want to come back next season. They're going to probably spin whatever new narrative, but they probably still really hate each other. But Emily trying to switch and turn, gaslighting Jen, saying that you're talking about mean girl behavior, but this is mean girl behavior. And I was like, no, I don't think that's mean girl behavior. I don't think that was mean girl behavior. I think Jen is just a lovely person and gives grace to Alexis. And I think Alexis would be a fine person on the show if the John Jansen of it all wasn't a part of it. All right. Rahina, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, Rahina, I did see the Venmo. I was traveling, so I saw it like, I don't know where I was. But thank you so much for the Venmo. Thank you to all of you that send Venmos, Cash Apps, all those things. I usually see them like after the live, but then I forget to mention them. But thank you to those of you that send. We appreciate the support. Rahina, thank you for the super chat. Rahina says, Kempire, so happy to catch you live. Your girl has been working. Got an MP job at Cornell. Oh, excuse me. So I've been busy. So happy for the Saturday live. I also watched the Diddy live. My husband has me screen grab the shot out. Yes, because I mentioned Rahina's husband because he comes to me for the Diddy juice. So we had a lot of Diddy juice yesterday during the live last night that we did. We were up late last night, y'all. We were up late talking about Diddy, but I was also updating on some of the things that I talked about during my LA show. So I wanted to give you guys the juice that I talked about. So if you missed it last night, you can watch it here on YouTube. For those that are watching on TikTok or on Twitch, Twitter, go over to my YouTube channel. We did a live there, but you can also watch it on Facebook as well. So thank you so much, Rahina, for the super chat. We appreciate the support. Guys, you can also support the channel just by liking the video. It's easy. It's free. I am going to drop the call-in link. Let me do it now so that I don't forget. Live chat, I'm not gonna drop it for you just yet, though. I'm going to drop it for our members first, okay? So if you're a member of the channel, we're going to drop the call link for you guys on the community tab. So let me just do that right now before I forget. And let me know how you would rate this week's episode, the final episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. I'm giving it a 10. I'm giving the season a 10. I'm giving the final part of the reunion a 10. Although, it's a sidebar, what Shannon said to And when Andy says, let me try to. Andy clearly was on the side of Shannon Bedore. It was. I already told you last week what we saw with Andy when warning Shannon about talking about the lawsuit. And she's like, I can talk. I won. And he laughed like a schoolgirl. Like, I was like, oh, he is so biased. And look, but I get it. He was so happy about it. But Alexis was like, are you going to tell these people to be quiet? Because she's trying to explain her side. And he's like, okay. But then she started to overtalk when Shannon was talking, and he was like, let her speak. He has his favorites, fine. We already know that he does, okay? We already know that Andy Cohen does. All right, let me just pull this here. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter as well. I see you guys. Thank you for being here. And shout out to everyone watching on TikTok. Keep tapping your screens. Can we get to 6,000 likes? And if you're here on the channel, we have, almost 700 of you watching. Be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. All right? Where was I? Okay. They talk about the timeline of when Shannon and John broke up. I don't care. Here's the thing. When the lawsuit came out and People Magazine reported on it, Emily says under her breath that she believes that Alexis is the one that sent the lawsuit to People Magazine. Alexis says that they reached out to her. I'm not saying that's impossible, but normally journalists are reaching out to the people that are actually involved in the lawsuit. Alexis is dating John. I don't believe that People Magazine really reached out to Alexis Bellino. I believe they reached out maybe to John to get a quote in regards to this, but I'm not saying it's impossible. All right? Okay. Dee says, Andy's a Gemini and we like who we like. If we don't like you, we could care less. Oh, that is so true. And I know Geminis very well. That is that's the truest statement you've ever said, Dee. That's the truest statement you've ever said. That's very true about Geminis. All right. Hey, Brandon. Brandon always comes in and shows his support. Thank you, Brandon. All right. Lala says that Alexis scares me. Really? Alexis is actually very innocent. She's ride or die for her man, which makes her look dumb. But she's also quirky and weird. I don't mind Alexis. I've said this. When she's not talking about John Jansen or being his mouthpiece and she's just hanging out with the other ladies like when she was in Big Bear, she actually was fun to watch. And I can see why Jen and Katie like her and get along with her. When they're not talking about the Shannon situation, I do believe they can be friends with Shannon and not agree with what John Jansen is doing or how Alexis is defending him and still be friends with her. I can see that. And I don't think that's mean girl behavior. And I get why Shannon feels that way because of what she's going through. I understand why she feels that way. I'm not going to say that she's wrong for feeling like off-put that Jen and Katie are friends with Alexis. I did see in an interview recently that Shannon says that she will be returning next season. However, she will not be filming with Alexis. These housewives. Look, these housewives. But do you think that Alexis will be returning next season? I mean, what will be her storyline next season? Her wedding to John that no one cares about? And a lot of fans did not love Alexis at all. Did not love her at all. And mind you, the advice that Tamara gave her is like, don't be John's mouthpiece. Then what else would she talk about? I felt like that set her up for failure because regardless, she's going to be John's mouthpiece because that's what she's done all season. Because what else would she be talking about? None of this stuff really relates to her. It's all John. So regardless, going in there and being like, don't be John's mouthpiece. And she walked in there and she was his mouthpiece. So they talked about the extortion stuff. I just want to make sure I covered everything that I wanted to talk about. Then Andy says he wants to kind of put a pin on everything and just kind of put a button on the situation. To land this plane. That's what he said. Andy said he wanted to land this plane. Okay, and then Shannon says it's time for the friend to leave the room. I was like, look, and to me, it broke the fourth wall that these women don't want to be friend ofs the show. They look down on friend ofs of the show. Part of the reason when Tamara was offered to be a friend of the show, she's like, I'm not going to do that. So for me, it's sort of like breaking that fourth wall. She did it when Alexis first came out. She's like, you're just a friend. And literally, Emily said it during the season as well. They kept on saying that to Alexis. You're just a friend. I wish them luck because I could see Emily and Gina being just a friend next season. Just saying. Okay. I'm trying to think of everything that I wanted to talk about before I get to some of the other stuff. Let me see. Emily calls out. Okay, we already talked about that. Emily had a lot to say, but still no storyline in sight. All right. So okay. So they take a little bit of a break. Shannon says she needs a break after this whole Alexis conversation because she's like, I hold a lot in. So she says she needs a break. So they take a little bit of a break, and everyone's reacting to what just played out. All right. So that's when Emily calls out Jen for the mean girl behavior and being friends with Alexis. Shannon agrees with that. Tamra, Andy points out how Tamra was sort of like quietly defending Shannon during that exchange between her and Alexis. And Shannon says, she appreciated that and she did see that and they were looking at each other during that conversation. So Shannon, Shannon then says, can we hug it out? So Tamara and Shannon hug, and that's where Tamara's like, I miss you, I love you, blah, 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 blah. And Jen is just sitting there with Katie, just whispering under her breath. Again, shout out to production, because they caught everything. They made sure we had captions, and when people were having multiple reactions on screen, we got to see all those multiple reactions. They did a superb job. Shout out to the editors and production, because I don't believe we've seen that on Real Housewives reunions where they do all of that. I'm sure they're going to set the standard. We're going to see more of that because we could see everyone's reactions. So at the same time. But Jen's under her breath because Jen's like, I'm not falling for it. Tamara does this all the time. But what Jen hasn't gotten, like Jen is us in the real world. Like, I'm not falling for it. I'm not doing this with you anymore, Tamara. However, these housewives, they're in their own little world and they know this is a game. So Shannon and Tamara are like, we're going to make peace, and maybe next season we'll be peaceful and we'll come after someone else. It'll be someone else's issue. Okay. But Jen is speaking under her breath, like, this is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing here? Like, she's a fake friend. Like, she's just going to do this again. But she doesn't realize that. But Shannon just hugs Tamara. Tamara pulls out the text messages. I don't know if some of these text messages were going to be used against Shannon, but they do highlight a conversation right after the DUI where it was very sweet exchange between Tamara and Shannon. So Andy reads that and he's like, oh, you guys are really loving on each other. You guys love each other. Woo, woo, woo. Oh, God. I mean, look, I just wish Tamara had that same energy consistently through the season. Because she's like, but she was still drinking. And, I can't condone something like that. Okay. It's just your way of doing it, though, Tamara. That just felt so abrasive, so aggressive, just so mean. Unnecessarily mean. Like, I get it. You can still, look, we hold Karen Huger accountable, too. But we're not mean about it. We're not calling her drunk. But we could do that. We're not friends with Karen or Shannon. All right, I'm sure people are calling her those things, but you're supposed to be a friend with her that has known her for a long time. Ooh, Tina, I forgot, Eddie doesn't like Shannon, right? Tina says that Eddie is not going to allow Tamara and Shannon to be friends again. Well, look, I don't know what's going on with Tamara and Eddie's relationship. Don't be surprised if her storyline next season is that they're separated. Just saying, don't be surprised. Foxy says, and the Emmy goes to, where's my Emmy? It's down there, I can't get it. And the Emmy goes to Tamara. Like, it wasn't even great acting. Exactly. Nashville says that Tamara is securing her spot. All right. I'm going to drop the call link for you guys too in the live chat. Guys, don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We're talking about the final episode for season 18 of The Real Housewives of Orange County. And if you missed it, we did give you a lot of hot topic updates last night during a special Kempire After Dark here on YouTube. So make sure you check that out and let us know your thoughts. We gave you a Diddy update. We talked about Khalid coming out of the closet. We talked about Lisa Ray's interviews with Carlos. We talked about Nicole Murphy. We talked about, oh my gosh, we talked about a lot of stuff. So make sure you check that out. All right. Okay. I agree with Emily because Emily says that she doesn't know how Shannon dealt with this season, with everything she had to deal with between Alexis being on the show, John Jansen, the lawsuit, her DUI. Look, and I will give it to Shannon. She's a real one. She's a real one. She was able to really handle herself this season and come out looking stellar. She did something right. I do believe that she's terrible behind the scenes, but I feel like she did something right. All right. Ooh, Tamar says, and Luann and Jeff Lewis tease that Shannon found a man in Love Hotel. I mean, I hope that for her. I really do. All right. I mean, based off of what Joel Kim Booster said about her during Love Hotel, you would have thought she didn't find a man, being miserable and hateful from behind the scenes, allegedly. Laura says the fact that Eddie wants to retreat to Big Bear says a lot. It's like a whole Harry Hamlin situation. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot. Shannon is an Aries, right? That makes sense. She's a boss. She's able to deal with a lot. What's Emily's sign? She's an Aries too, right? Isn't she an Aries? You know, a lot of Aries are attorneys. You know that? A lot of Aries become attorneys, or want to be attorneys, or wanted to be attorneys. All right. Ooh, Tamara's bringing back. She says 3 of the housewives found love at Love Hotel. I'm actually looking forward to watching that because it's going to be like Ultimate Girls Trip, but like a dating show with people that we know. I could care less about Ashley, but whatever. You know, we did report that Ashley finally filed for divorce. Ashley from Real Housewives of Potomac finally filed for divorce from Michael Darby. Okay. Ooh, Dee Dee says, I worked for Aries women many times and they were the best bosses. Oh, I believe that. Emily's a Capricorn. I thought it was either Aries or Capricorn. I wasn't sure if she was also a Capricorn like Heather. Thank you. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok. We see you guys. We appreciate you all being here as well. Keep tapping your screens. Let's get to 7,000 likes on TikTok. And those of you that are here in the chat, oh, we got 670. Oh, at first it said 666. I was like, oh, like, no. All right. Exactly. And that's what it says. If that's the case, I'm watching Love Hotel and I'm recapping it. I just got to figure out when is it coming out? It just finished wrapping. It just finished wrapping the season up. So I don't know. I did see that they finally released the photos for Traitors. Traitors will be coming in January, and you know I love me some Traitors. So I think maybe when Traitors returns, that's when Tuesday Takeover will return. Yes, official announcement. Yes. Hold on. Miss Brown Sugar says, Andy says, you better tell us something at the reunion. And Ashley jumped in line. Yeah, we found out before the reunion. We figured as much. Okay. So I'm looking forward to Traitors coming in January. And of course, I don't know when Love Hotel will be coming. I'm assuming sometime next year. They're not going to release a lot of new stuff this time of the year because it is the holidays. So Millie says, I cannot wait for Traitors. Me too. So I'm wondering if with Traitors coming in January, UK, can you guys let me know when your Traitors is coming out? Let me know. I want to know. Winter says, yes, the return of Tuesday Takeover. Yes. Mama Allie, can you do me a favor? I don't know if you watched last night's recap. Can you give me the timestamps for that, please? No rush, but can you just send that to me so we can give it to the people for the replay crew? I apologize. All right. Millie says, I watched the UK and Australian version. I heard the Australian version of Traitors will not be coming back because it was a terrible end for last season. It was a terrible end, but I enjoyed it. I loved the Traitors UK as well, though. So UK watchers, let me know when Traitors is coming back over there. Yes, regular Robins. Look, I said to myself last night, I said, self, I'm actually looking forward to Robin on Traitors. Very much like with Phaedra. Phaedra was likable on Traitors because we don't have to talk about your personal life. I think Robin is competitive. I think she's physically fit. So I'm looking forward to seeing Robin in this way. Okay? And I get to say regular Robin is not so regular on the Traitors. All right? Just saying. Okay. So they did the final part of the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion. They do their final thoughts. Tamra talks about how she didn't like what she saw of herself this season. Again, she's trying to paint a different narrative. But I will say this, Tamra, you're boring when you're like, do you not have a personality when you're not drinking? Because then I'm just like, then that's sad. That's sad to me. But there are a lot of people like Tamra that feel they need to drink in order to be the life of the party. Y'all know people like that. They feel they need to drink in order to be loose or to have a good time. I'm not that person. All my friends will tell you that. All my friends will tell you, like, I'm not the life of the party, but I'm not boring either. And I don't drink. I think I'd probably be boring if I drank because I'd be like, I need to go sleep. Need to go to sleep. Maybe. I don't know. I've never been drunk. Anyways, Emily's like, I'm good with everyone. She has no issues with everyone, but I think you might have some issues, some unresolved issues with Jen. Just saying. Katie points out and acknowledged how Heather came over to her and said what she said about, what she's gone through with her kids. So she points that out. So there's hope for Katie and Heather, maybe. I did find it interesting and funny because Alexis talked about how she had hoped that her and Shannon could move forward during the season. And she was like, look at what, Heather and Katie have been able to do. She was like, we really have not resolved anything. But maybe they can resolve things next season. Do you think that there's hope for Katie and Heather? I think that there is hope for Katie and Heather. But Katie, you just got to let some of this stuff go. I think you came in just wrong. You just came in right, like you could have been likable, but you just came in wrong. And I know some of the Bravo universe is like, oh, Heather, but you just hate Heather to hate Heather. But I don't feel like I felt like Katie came after Heather just for no reason. I will say this though. How they ended the reunion. Andy, they brought out the mocktails and they brought out some espresso martinis. And when Andy was, saying, giving a cheers, he said to Katie, good job this season. And I said, oh, he also said it to Tamra. So I definitely think Tamra's coming back next season. Remember, I wasn't sure if Katie was going to come back this season. However, after he said that, I was like, oh, next season secured. Season 19 is secured for Katie. He was like, I liked Katie too during the season, but I did see a pattern of lying that made me uncomfortable. A pattern of like using your children on the show. I was like, what in the Meredith Marks is going on? So there's still something about Katie that I don't like. I do like her real friendship with Jen, but I got my eye on you, Katie. I got my eye on you. All right. Okay, so I'm thinking the reunion is over. They give us 36 hours later. 36 hours later. So apparently, okay, so they all go over, I think it was Emily's house they went over. Except Katie and Jen were not invited. They weren't there. I don't know if they were invited or not. But Heather, Shannon, Tamra, Emily, and Gina all come together to talk about a dinner that happened on finale night that they didn't talk about during the reunion. And Heather said she had a lot to talk about. I think it was Emily who joked. It's like, all things you wanted to talk about, Katie. So she forgot to talk about this dinner that Heather, Tamra, and Alexis went to. And apparently, John admitted to hearing the crash. Tamra filled in some of the holes, saying that John stayed in the house because his daughter told him to stay in the house. And apparently, he heard the crash. And apparently, John says that before she went out, she was punching John. So Shannon gets emotional, saying like she doesn't remember that. Do I believe that Shannon doesn't remember that? I mean, she was very, very drunk. So it's not impossible. But I wouldn't be surprised if she does remember it and she just doesn't want to say it. Like, she's no fool. Like, she's been in multiple lawsuits, and apparently she went to law school. I don't think she graduated, but she went to law school. So she's no dummy. Okay? So apparently she was punching him. John, if you try and come out with another lawsuit, I know a lot of fans that wanted to punch you too, but I'm just saying, we're not condoning violence. I'm just saying. So why exactly didn't Heather and Tamara mention it during the reunion? I think they just got caught up and they forgot. There's a lot to remember during a reunion. There's a lot happening during a 12-hour day, and they filmed it on a Sunday. All right, guys. I've dropped the call-in link for you guys that are members on the community tab. I did drop the call-in link in the live chat. I'll drop it one more time. We have a few people backstage that want to weigh in on the final part of the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion. If you haven't liked the video already, be sure to like the video. And don't forget, you can hear an audio version of our live recap on our YouTube channel. No, well, you can hear it on YouTube, but also on our podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast today and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I'm telling all of you that are watching on TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, and on YouTube and Facebook, go now. I'll wait. Go now. Go give us a 5-star rating and tell us how much you love us. Okay? Nashua says, John needs to keep Shannon's name out of his mouth. Well, now I think he has to. They settled the lawsuit. I'm sure they signed a non-disclosure agreement. Okay. Julie, thank you so much for another super chat. You just spending this lovely man's picture. I'm assuming this is your husband. Didn't you say there's a how many year age difference between you and your husband? Julie, thank you for another super chat. Julie says, okay, so I'll admit that I wrote on the photo that Tamara posted of them, just saying that Shannon, Tamara, and is not your friend and wants to secure her spot. Julie, behave yourself on social media. Okay? Julie is a mess. Look, I can't control what people say. Look, a lot of people agree. With what Julie's saying, okay? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, hold on, CM. I forgot about this. Thank you for reminding. Before we get to the callers, I did see this. Let me just read this really quickly. She's long-winded like Dorit. So Shannon did post on social media the receipts that the lawsuit has been settled. Okay, I have that screenshot before we get to what Alexis had to say. Hold on one second. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, let me just pull that over for you guys. All right. I have way too many screens open. Okay, there we go. All right, let me just bring this over to you guys so you can see it. All right, so Shannon posted the lawsuit. I get the customer copy of the payment of the lawsuit, the wire transfer services, and it shows you. Hold on, let me move in closer. It says John Jansen settlement is full. Okay, in full, not is full, in full. Customer copy, and she tags Alexis and John on social media. And she says simply, enjoy, you reality TV star. She didn't say that part. I did that part. Okay. All right. So Alexis posted on her social media. Let me pull that up. All right. Hold on. Let me just go. Let me go to social. I completely forgot about that. Thank you for the reminder, guys. So look, this is a show. Sidebar, I see Andy Cohen said at Bravo Fan Fest, you will see Kenya on the new season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I told you guys that already. If you were at our Atlanta show, if you were at our LA show, I told you you're going to see Kenya. All right, you're gonna see Kenya this season. You're not gonna see a lot of her. You're gonna see her though. All right, let me pull this up. Hold on, y'all. Let me pull up what Alexis had to say. All right. Where is it? Please hold. Here it is. Lord, it's long, but stay with me, okay? And it's a photo of Alexis. Okay, let me pull up the photo. This is a live show, but I also have to go. I have to leave here soon, y'all. I got things to do on this Saturday. And I still haven't decorated. I mean, I'm slowly but surely decorating. I haven't decorated the studio just yet. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. It's not going to be like the Winter Wonderland that you're used to, just because I got to move stuff from the other house, okay? Let me bring this photo up. So this is the photo, and I'll show you the cat. Okay, this is the photo that she posted, Alexis, all right? Before we do that, let me just say thank you to Mama Allie for the super chat. Mama Allie says, can we please talk about why John wasn't held accountable for Shannon leaving knowing she was that drunk? He had a responsibility to not allow her behind the wheel. I say this as a former bartender. I mean, there's only so much you can do to a grown adult. He could have tried and taken her keys. I don't know if he even tried to do any of that. Look, she's a grown adult too. At the end of the day, I'm not going to put all the responsibility on him. I don't know if he did try. Maybe he did. Who knows? But back to Alexis. But I agree with you. Like, if you could, and you know someone's drunk, did they call the police? I don't know. Just saying. So Alexis posted this photo. She has a weird mouth. Anyway, it's like she does weird things with her mouth, okay? So Alexis says this in a caption with this photo. She says, I just had a chance to watch the reunion of Real Housewives of Orange County season 18. I'm letting everyone know that I'm broken by this season. I was already broken by losing my mom 3 months prior to filming, so it was a difficult decision to sign back on. Yet I went in thankful it brought me out of bed and out of my depression. But now I've been beaten down so badly, so wrongly, and so bigly, and so many truths left out. For someone that's been on reality television for 15 years, you'd think you would know that, but okay. So much was left on the cutting room floor that would have never brought so much hate to me and my family. There are receipts, many, and they will be brought out this week. Is she bringing this stuff out because she is not in the lawsuit? Lawyers, please weigh in. Could she ruin things for the non-disclosure agreement that John did? Because that sometimes also, we went through the Diddy NDA, and that covered friends, family, or anything like that might be associated as well. So I would tread lightly if I was her. She says, there are receipts, many, and they will be brought out this week. The lawsuit only finalized because the opposition knew we had the receipts to bring to court. She had to pay up because she wanted to pay up, Alexis. Like, what are you talking about? She would have lost in court. She wanted to pay. She says she only paid $60,000 of the $75,000, but thank you for that $60K. John gave you a discount. This is why you think that. Oh gosh. Look, you think that it's editing, and this is not editing right now, even though I see you edited this post. This is not editing right now. This is you being a dum-dum on social media, Alexis. It's now you can't blame editing for what you're posting here. Why am I yelling? Because it's the idiocy of it all. She said, but thank you for the $60K. John gave you a discount. Ooh. The lie that someone paid for everything is squashed by the fact of what our forensic accountant did. They mentioned that during the reunion. $50K spent by John year one, then $380K over 3 years, then two loans of $75K, which she finally had to pay because the evidence would have squashed her in court. Truth prevails. It's unfortunate that I didn't get the opportunity for these receipts to be shown at the reunion, although they were brought by me and they were very available to be shown. So now John and I will bring them in our own voice. Okay. This is never how I would have thought or wanted it to happen. I also wanted to be known that I never thought I'd be brought back this season to be the villain. Girl, you've been doing reality TV for 15 years. You know you have no control on that. And if you really saw the writing on the wall, they were not going to make you look innocent. They were not going to make you be the star. They were not going to do that. If you've been watching the show and you knew how the Bravo universe and how Andy and production love Shannon, they were not going to make you look good. They were using you, and you fell for it, dummy. Oh, damn. They were using you. She really thought that they were going to make her look good, y'all. She says, it's unfortunate that I didn't get the opportunity for these receipts to be shown at the reunion, although they were brought by me and they were very available to be shown. So now John and I will bring them in our own voice. This is never how I thought I would be, how I would have thought or wanted to happen. I also wanted to be known that I've never thought I'd be brought back this season to be the villain. If I had known, I would have never signed. I live in love, not anger or hate or villainousness, I think he meant. I truly lay awake every night wondering why it was portrayed this way. You lay awake thinking about this? Okay. Unfortunately, this season made a hit show at my and John's expense. Um, I thought my beating all season would be finally advocated for at the reunion and the truth would prevail. Sometimes God has a different plan. I will now use my own platform and my voice to share the truth with you because I do not live in toxicity, falsehoods, hateful behavior, victimhood. Is it victimhood a one word? Okay. Or lies. I signed on to reality and now I will bring the reality to light. I will never act or become a victim. I will simply live with God and stand in truth. He always prevails. Hashtag stay tuned. We don't care. Okay? We don't care. Go live your that's why I always say you can tell when someone's not really happy at home or have a happy relationship when this is the most important. This is the most important thing that you have going on. If I was in a happy relationship, I found the love of my life after, the kids and the divorce of the other one. If I had found the love of my life, I would not care. I would not come on a reality show and care. I would not give them an opportunity to see me talking or defending. I'm like, you know what? That's your thing with John. John and I are happy over here. All right? But I don't care. We don't need a podcast. We don't need any of that. We don't care. I promise you we will not be talking about it beyond this point. So, bye, Alexis. All right, let me get to the callers because the callers have been so patiently waiting back behind the scenes. We appreciate you guys. Let me just say thank you. We did have a super chat, guys. Let's get to 300 likes. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County. Be sure to let us know, Replay Crew, your thoughts on and how you would rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of Orange County. Deborah, thank you for the super chat. She says, Alexis, every trash needs a... Yes, Alexis. They said that. Was it Emily who said that? She says, every trash can needs a lid. That was Emily. Yeah, Emily was going hard at Alexis. Whew. At least there was some unity. It was sweet at the end of this episode where all the women hugged. And I'm talking about after the fact when they went over. And it was just all the ladies except Katie and Jen. So I thought that was sweet. It really did end on a sweet note. After a really great season. I would tell you if I thought it was a trash season, okay? All right, let's get to some of the callers because I got to get out of here. All right, Wendy's backstage. We're going to bring Wendy up next. Wendy, what did you want to share in regards to the Orange County reunion?
Hi, I am finally first. It's been a long time.
Yes, okay. Thanks for being a member.
Yes, this was a good show, and I think whoever produced this show in Salt Lake City, they need to go to Roni and also Potomac. We need a change of whoever's doing the production and stuff like that. But anyway, it was a win for Shannon. The whole time, it was a win for Shannon. Alexis, I'm glad she's not going to be on there. I heard that she's not going to be back. There's also rumored that her and John has broken up. If it is, it's so much great karma. Yeah, it's great karma. And then also, I did not know Alexis did an episode on Below Deck with ex-fiance.
Yep.
And so I'm like, girl, you are just thirsty for Showtime, and you are a TV star. That part tripped me out when she said you're a TV star. But I'm like, if I just think that John used Alexis, and from the beginning, from that very first episode when Shannon, dang it, this is the first time ever.
Finish your thought though.
Okay, for the very first episode, when Alexis and Shannon got together, I do believe Shannon, when she said she did not care about their relationship, she was mad about the lawsuit between Jim Bellini and her. And it was Alexis that says, no, you're just mad because I am with your ex-boyfriend. So Alexis had that already in place to rub it in her face from the day one. And that's it. All right. I'm sorry I went over.
That's okay, Wendy. Thank you for calling in.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, I mean, we also saw she practiced there's the door, Shannon Bedore. So I wouldn't be surprised if she knew coming in this season what she was going to say and do. All right. Anthony's backstage. We're going to bring Anthony up next. Anthony, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. Anthony from Los Angeles, California. How are you today?
Well, how are you?
Good, thanks. First, this season was a 10 out of 10. Every episode was better than the next. It was just full tens across the board for this season. Alexis, she needs to be off the show. I'm not understanding these 5 shows that she was on. I only looked up one, which was Marriage Boot Camp Family Edition with her
Oh.
mother.
Oh.
But you weren't even the star of that show. You had Corey Feldman and Aaron Carter on that show. So what star are you even being? And her storyline, I believe, was before she even got with John, as she supposedly said, that it was about her mother's passing. But yet, we never saw a dinner or anything in honor of your mother. Like, what did you do in terms of a storyline that didn't involve John that you said that you signed on before you got with John? It makes no sense. Yes, I agree with Emily. Every trash can has its lid. However, John is the garbage truck, and Alexis is driving said garbage truck throughout this entire season, dragging it. And I do believe she will be back next season just for this wedding because I'm sure production wants this mess and cares no feelings about Shannon.
All
But
right.
that's my take. Thank you so much, Kempire.
Thanks, Anthony. Take care. Oh Lord, I will say this: if I will give Alexis grace, if she did share more about her mother's passing, and maybe if there was some sort of celebration, it's really up to production on whether or not they're going to show it and what direction they want to go this season. So there are plenty of things that happen that we will never see. So it's possible that she did. I don't know. I mean, that's between Alexis and her God. All right, Rahina, thank you so much for another super chat. Rahina says, focus on planning your wedding to John. Hashtag we don't care. Hashtag no thank you. I really don't care. If you tell me that she's not coming back next season, I think we all be like, yay, rejoice. Look, rejoice. All right, Candy Cane is backstage. We're going to bring Candy Cane up next. Candy Cane, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Happy that I can catch a live. I just wanted to comment first on Alexis and Johnny J. So, if you really loved and cared about somebody and they clearly have like a serious issue with substance abuse, why would you seek to destroy them? Like when somebody's at their low, I just found that very evil and very telling of their character. Um, so I'm really sorry that Shannon had to go through that. But my next comment is going to be on Andy. He was very absent during the whole reunion. Emily earned her check and Andy's check. That whole reunion, bringing up all the good points. I thought she honestly made the reunion a lot better. I know it was kind of annoying at times,
Yeah.
but this was a 10 out of 10 reunion, and the other housewives, they need to take note. They need to be more genuine. They need to be less unfiltered, less filtered, and the audience will definitely respond. So thank you.
Thank you, Candy Cane. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. I love it. The name Candy Cane. Look, I agree, and I said that too, and that could be me twerking on a fence. That I feel like, yes, it was annoying sometimes when Emily chimed in, and some of her hot takes I didn't agree with, especially when it came to Jen. But I do agree there were certain moments that I appreciated her bringing up certain things and being combative during certain things, especially when Alexis came out. So I feel like there was more to that and why she felt that way she felt about Alexis. But maybe if Alexis comes back next season, that will be addressed. If Alexis comes back next season, it won't be full time. It will be, again, a friend of, to be honest. Because what else does she have going on? Nothing. Look, nothing. Guys, that is it for our Real Housewives of Orange County recap. I appreciate you all being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. I think there's a new episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. If there is, I will be recapping it tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And we shall see. Make sure you guys follow me on TikTok. If I feel up to it Sunday night, I might go live to watch at least one of the episodes of Potomac or Married to Medicine's premiere. All right. So make sure you follow me on TikTok at TheKempire. And now I'm available on Blue Sky. Yes, I'm on Blue Sky as well. So make sure you follow me there. Everything is at TheKempire. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. Become a member today at teamkempire.com/join. And shout out to our subscribers. We appreciate you guys as well. And I appreciate anyone that sent in a super chat today. That was very nice of you. We appreciate it. But how about you guys send in some likes? Make sure you like the video if you haven't already. If you're watching the replay, let's continue this conversation there. Oh, Julie sent another super chat. Julie says, there's not going to be a wedding, and the age gap is 28 years between her and her husband, and I'm 60 and is happy that I spend my money on super chats and not shopping. And he's a youthful 88. He is a youthful 88. I'm looking at the picture. Wow. There's a 28 age gap between Julie and her husband. And she spends all his money on super chats for me. But she could be spending his money on Louis Vuitton and Gucci and things like that. So this is cheap in comparison. Come on. Just saying. Thank you, Julie. All right, guys, we're going to go into the replay chat. I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. I will see you all later. Happy holidays. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Here we go now.